Your morning blitz begins now.
Yeah! Have a great Friday, you mother...
Yeah, let's do that on a Friday, as long as the rain stops. Waking up to some wet roads this morning. Could be off and on throughout part of the day, but a high of 75 before we roll into a semi-decent weekend, cooling off a little bit. Highs in the 60s for Saturday and Sunday. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
Good. How are you?
A little tired. Had a great time at 10 Mile Inn last night.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. That's a cool place.
Was West Jefferson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Great burger. Everyone kept saying, get the burger. I said, okay. Got the burger. It was worth it. So, and if you're a biker, it's a place to go. Just offset off the road there. But, man, they had a lot of bikes there last night.
Nice.
A lot of bikes. So, apparently on Tuesday is their bike night, and it's like shoulder to shoulder. Like, even the outdoor patio. So if you're looking for a place to hang, that'd be the place to go. How you doing on a Friday?
I'm doing good. I saw, for the first time, I've never seen, like, a big drone fly. Like, you know how everybody was freaking out about the drones back in New Jersey or whatever? Okay, so I get on 161. I'm traveling westbound, and I'm in the dark part of 161. It's like between Beach and 62. And I see this bright light instantly when I get on 161. I'm like, that's not the moon. It doesn't feel like that's the moon. But it was like a bright light. I'm like, what is that? And so as I got closer and closer, then I saw the green and red position lights and this, like, basically a white spotlight, tail light, and I flew right under it. I mean, it was high in the sky, so I can't tell how big it was, but it was a decent size. And I'm trying to think, like, who's out at 3:25 a.m. with a drone?
That's weird.
Don't you have to have special permission to fly at night as well?
I have no idea about
I don't
drone
know
rules.
either. I'm not sure either.
Do you think you said it was really big? Bigger than what like a regular.
I feel like it was
personal
big.
drone. Do you think it was a commercial drone?
Maybe. Yeah, because I mean, like my brother-in-law has a drone, just one you get at Best Buy.
Right.
It wasn't that. This was like a decent
industrial size.
Size.
Did it say Skynet on it?
I mean, are the police out there looking for something? Is it infrared cameras?
Oh, okay. Maybe that could be it.
Yeah.
And like you're flying over the area where they love to buy up the land for the data centers and the warehouses and things like that. I don't know if they're like scouting something, but why would you do that in the middle of the night?
Interesting.
It's weird. I don't know. Maybe it was just somebody having fun and they couldn't sleep. I don't know.
Or someone practicing. Maybe that's they're just furthering their career and they're like, I need my night hours.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
Thick, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I stayed up a little late for the draft last night.
Right, yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit more later because it was a good one.
It was.
So far, it's a good first round.
I think you and I were probably very pleased, and Browns fans should be. And I'm a little sunburnt.
You're a little burnt.
Look at back my neck.
Oh, my gosh, look at
that.
you.
It got hot out there yesterday.
Yeah, it was warm.
What were you doing out there? Yard
fishing.
work? Oh, you were fishing.
Oh, yeah, and it was awesome. It was great.
They were
fishing.
biting?
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay.
Good time.
Did you use sunscreen?
I didn't. I didn't even think about
Yeah,
it. You know,
I
it's
know.
friggin' April.
I did
know,
the
I
same
know.
thing.
But,
yeah.
85 degrees in sun, you're going to get burned.
Yep.
Look at you.
Absolutely did the same thing last weekend. Went for a walk. Nora and I went for a walk, and it was like, oh, damn, there's some sun out there. Like, it was got the back of my neck for sure. All right, well, let's get going on a Friday. Blitz Morning Trivia, Thick. What you got?
Yeah, let's hook somebody up with $25 to waterbeds and stuff if you're the first one to text in the correct answer at 99700. According to statistics compiled by IMDb, this is the most watched TV show of all time. This is according to IMDb and their stats. Tell us what is the most watched TV show of all time. First one to tell us at 99700, you will get that gift card.
That answer to Blitz Morning Trivia, Thick, is what?
All right, the question was, according to statistics compiled by IMDb, what is the most watched TV show of all time? Do either of you have a guess?
I feel like you're excited about it, Thick, so it must be Game of Thrones.
I mean, most, streaming? Such a
It doesn't
weird
say streaming, it just
question.
says the most watched TV show of all time.
MASH.
Kelly had it.
I could read your body language.
Yeah, and just according to stats. Now, this was done, the stats were pulled up to 2019, so we don't have the past 5 years included in the all-time statistics.
Okay. But I'm just like, what does that mean all-time? Like streaming, most viewed hours? What if people went back and watched, 5 times?
I think it counts everything. I'm talking about the most watched show of all time, however you took it in.
That seems weird.
Other series that made the list include Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, 13 Reasons Why, and Riverdale.
Okay, I feel like those came in because they haven't had the last 5 years, because we're talking Squid Game, we're talking Tiger King, we're talking things that got massive numbers in the last 5 years.
There's no way that all those shows beat out. I mean, you're talking MASH, Leave It to Beaver, well,
MASH didn't have streaming. Leave It to Beaver didn't have streaming.
Right, so I don't think it's a fair comparison. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that doesn't change what has been watched the most eyes on the most episodes. You mentioned Tiger King. That's 1 season. Walking Dead's 11 seasons.
Yeah.
So, Stranger Things is going on what? We're on 5. 13 Reasons Why was 5. Riverdale, I don't know how many. A lot of people, there's a huge cult following to Riverdale. So, again, we're just talking about number of eyes on number of episodes, however you took it in.
And once you watch it once, like going back and watching it again shouldn't count as more views.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm very angry about this survey.
Why?
What would you pick as number 1? MASH? That would be your pick. That would be what you think would deserve it. MASH.
Hey, that's just what came to mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I would have thought maybe Seinfeld. I mean, because they are streaming now, and The Office. What about The Office?
Yeah,
right.
You got
that is streaming. That's 9 seasons, and they've been streaming for years.
And in the middle of the day, you can put on TBS, TNT, and Comedy Central, and they're all showing The Office.
Right.
Big Bang Theory, Friends.
Yep.
I don't know.
Who's the winner?
That would be Phil Wills in Grove City. Phil's got $25 to waterbeds and stuff.
Congratulations, Phil. You won a rigged contest.
I just asked what IMDb reported. That's all right. I'm saying.
They got it right.
Nobody trusts IMDb. Hey, here's one for you as you're rolling into your weekend. Something else that you get to worry about of all the things going on in your life.
Oh, great.
Here's something else that is probably killing you. That is going shopping at CVS. Well, that's not true. But I don't want to put all the blame on CVS. However, I am putting it on any place that still uses or does use thermal paper receipts, which is a lot. It just so happens when you go to CVS, you happen to get 3 miles of thermal paper receipt.
What's wrong with thermal paper?
Because it has high levels of forever chemicals known as bisphenol S or PBS. Similar to PBA that we have in plastics, this is PBS. And basically, it is hormone disrupting, and it's all over the receipts. And it mimics estrogen. It can throw off the normal functioning of the body, including metabolism, growth and development, and reproduction. Chemicals can be absorbed through the skin when you handle the receipt paper. They said even just handling the receipt paper for like 10 seconds can have serious health consequences. So, is this serious enough? A lot of people are online saying, no, it's just another internet scare. Some people are saying, no, it's been around. This is not a new discovery. Scientists have been researching the harmful effects of PBS for a while. In fact, in 2021, German researchers warned that it could seriously damage human brains after studying the effects on goldfish. So, yes, it can be absorbed. Just saying. So
everything is trying to kill us.
Everything is trying to kill us.
These forever chemicals, man. I'm telling you, these PFAs and all of that, terrible.
We're loaded down with them. There's nothing you can do about it either.
It's in our water now.
It's everywhere. So if you go to CVS, you might want to bring a pair of tongs so you don't have to touch the receipt.
Is there a need for a receipt ever? I always am like, pass. And every time I leave the Kroger self-checkout and I leave the receipt there, I don't want it.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And the person there is like,
hey, you forgot your
receipt. You want your receipt? I'm like, come on.
Just something else to watch out for. So enjoy, and good luck to all of us. 997 of the Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
All right, I don't know who. Not that there's blame to be placed, or who's in the wrong here. But this would be devastating for anyone who is a dog owner. You got your Ring camera set up. You got the FedEx driver. You get the ding ding alert that someone is at your front door. But then the delivery driver decides to pass on a message through the Ring camera. And that is exactly what happened as this delivery driver walks up and there's a dog on the porch on its side laying there. And this is what happens.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Hello, I'm so sorry to tell you, but I think your dog passed away out back. He's laying here right now, but I don't think he's here anymore.
What? What? That would be heartbreaking. That would be absolutely heartbreaking to find out through your Ring camera that your dog is dead.
Don't think I would have delivered the message. Unless the Ring camera could show the dead dog and me in the same frame.
It was.
Okay, then I guess I would say something. I'd be like, listen, I'm so sorry. Can somebody come home or come to us? There's something really wrong with your dog.
Yes.
I bet in previous Ring camera footage, maybe you see the dog, crawl up on the.
Can you see the timeline of what happened?
Well, you can definitely see her when she first gets there and walks up, and the dog is
not moving.
There.
Yes, and he's and the delivery driver says he's laying right here now, but I don't think he's here anymore. And here's the thing. The FedEx driver then, after leaving the message, goes back and shakes the dog and is like, hello, hey. And it took about the third or fourth rough shake before the dog rolled over and goes, what?
Oh, no kidding. It wasn't dead.
It was not
Thank
dead.
Goodness. Oh,
and then there's other dogs.
Yes.
This is a way better end to the story than I was afraid of.
Yes.
So it was just in a deep nap.
It was in a deep, deep sleep. And some people are giving flack to the driver for saying, don't pass on a message like that unless you're absolutely sure. But, again, in the beginning of the video, the driver does walk up to the dog, no movement, kind of gives it a little pet, no movement. It took a couple of rough shit. This dog was a deep, deep sleeper.
And she was sweet about it. She was being gentle.
Yes.
It wasn't like she was being cavalier about a dead dog on the porch. I feel bad for her because I would think self-preservation me would be thinking, I don't want you to think I killed the dog, so I'm going to tell you I walked up on the dog this way.
Okay,
This way when I got here.
The owner, Martina Kramer, has come out on social media and said, no ill will to the FedEx driver. We're sorry you had this encounter. We're sorry that you got, concerned and scared that you found our dead dog. That's not the case. Everything is fine.
Okay,
but
that's nice.
That would be absolutely heartbreaking. For sure.
That's a heavy sleeper right there.
That is a heavy sleeping dog.
You're at work watching your Ring camera, and that's the message you get.
Right, yeah. Nope.
Just let it out.
There we go. Bless you.
I think we'll change now that we're getting our new text system and there won't be double up on text. I think every sneeze on air now deserves
it's a ding, ding, ding. I love it.
Next story coming out of Tyler, Texas, where a mom has been arrested because she brought jello shots to the school Christmas party at the elementary school.
What?
This story actually took place back on December 20th of 2024 at Jones Elementary in Tyler, Texas, where the assistant principal told the Tyler Independent School District police officer that she believed a parent had brought jello shots to a classroom Christmas party. Now, here's the deal. What happened was the mom went to a small sweet shop that is actually run out of a private home, and she ordered some jello. But she didn't double check to see that these jello shots were the alcoholic kind. The kind you mix with a little bit of vodka. The kind you put in the little plastic cuppies. The kind you take on the boat party with you. Or the 4th of July party. They were decorated, a little bit of whipped cream, little tiny strawberry piece on top. But as the party went on and some of the kids started to feel a little funny, they knew something was up. So there was even a text message to the owner of the privately owned sweet shop saying, do these contain alcohol? And the person said, yes. And so the mom just responded, kids, was the only response. Like, hello? Why didn't you double check before bringing them to the school party?
Also,
that's what I want to know. Something
strange to me is when it's like back in the day when we had candy cigarettes. Why are we making a candy or kid version of an adult thing?
Oh, that's a valid point. Yep. The owner of the sweet shop told police the jello did contain vodka, but they thought that Miss Bernal had ordered alcoholic shots on purpose. They were unaware this was for a classroom party.
Yeah, I don't blame
the shop owner.
I don't blame the shop owner.
Yeah, you can't do that. You got to be careful when you're dealing with a kid food that contains alcohol. Yeah. Double and triple check for sure. Thankfully, although some of the kids did have stomach aches, one actually fell. One mom said, my kid fell asleep on the floor the second he walked in the door. You think?
Well, so there's an advantage.
But nap time, for sure. Sure, not so breaking news, 99.7 The Blitz. Remember yesterday we played some old-timey commercials from like the 70s and 80s?
Yeah.
A lot of them you wouldn't be able to air nowadays.
No.
I mixed that in with the fact that I think we were discussing our next TV show because still living apart, Nora and I would sometimes like to sit down at like 6 o'clock and we'll put the same show on the streaming service so we're watching the same thing at the same time. And then we'll watch a couple episodes a night. We think Mad Men might be our next show.
It's a good one.
Is it? I've heard some good things about it.
It's good.
And so I think that might be the next one that we jump on. But of course, that show deals with advertisements. And I came across a couple other advertisements I want to share with you. This first thing, because it's National Telephone Day. This was kind of the informational PSA that ran back in like 1938 when the phone was first, became the phone that we knew of, the landline, where you picked it up, you dialed a phone number. But people didn't know how to use the phone. You got to learn. So this was the actual instructional PSA that used to run.
Yeah, we're talking about a rotary phone.
Yeah. So take a listen to what people had to listen to in 1938 when the phone first came out.
The telephones in this city will be changed to dial service, and all telephone numbers will be changed. Before calling any number, first secure the number from your new directory. Then remove the receiver and listen for the dial tone. It sounds like this.
You had to learn the dial tone.
With the receiver off the hook, dial the desired number. Be sure to allow the dial to freely return to its normal position. And this is the ringing signal. If the line is busy, you'll hear this busy signal.
Why did every single middle-aged white man in the 30s and 40s sound exactly the same?
Right?
Exactly the same. It's crazy.
It's like the PSA when they're teaching you about zip codes. It sounds like the same dude.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing: if I were to give the 13-year-old a rotary phone right now at home, I'd have to play that video for him. He wouldn't know what to do. I might do that this weekend when I go home. I'm going to get a video, just see if I can get a video to him I'm going to give him a phone number and see if he knows how to dial it.
How about back in the day when it used to be like in Mayberry when they go, Sarah, get me so-and-so.
Right.
You just call the operator.
Call the operator. Absolutely.
You didn't even dial. You just picked it up.
Just picked it up. The operator. Sarah came on.
Yeah.
Speaking of advertisements, one reason I love visiting my brother in New York City is you just see things in New York City that you don't see anywhere else. And there is a new brand. It is a personal care brand called Billy. And they have started a new advertising campaign in New York City. The advertisement is on the wall. It's a big, not a full-size billboard, but a good-size sign. And it advertises their products, including some deodorant. And right next to the picture of their products is a giant armpit, which, by the way, is Scratch and Sniff. They have Scratch and Sniff advertisements in New York City. So you can smell.
Right. See for yourself if it works.
Yep, you can smell their new brand of deodorant. And people are walking up, and there's the armpit. It's a close-up right there. And it says Scratch and Sniff.
See, that's just kind of a gimmick. If you really want it to be effective, you hire live models. But I feel like there could be like lawsuit issues with having real models and you smelling their armpits. But That would be a better move because I don't care what happens on cardboard.
What would cost more, to hire you to be the armpit model and have people sniff your armpits, or to walk up to a stranger and sniff their armpit?
I mean, you're going to go to jail for sure for the second one.
Well, no, not if you're getting paid for it. If you're getting paid, would you sniff a stranger's armpit?
Never. No, I don't care what your armpit smells like.
See, but I think we covered this yesterday or the day before.
Sucking the fingers.
Right, sucking on the fingers. For $10,000, you're not smelling a stranger's armpit?
Of course. I'll smell it for $100. I'm not doing it for free, is what I'm saying.
Okay, right. But would that same $100, would you stand there as a model for $100 and let strangers sniff your armpit?
No, but I would for $575, which is the amount of money I got ripped off on Facebook Marketplace. I'll do it for one afternoon for $575.
Okay.
You can smell my armpit.
So it would be more expensive to have
But no weirdos, okay? No creeps. You get one sniff and you're gone.
No.
That's it.
What if someone just gets up in there?
And no touching. No touching. There's got to be at least a 4-inch buffer between your nose and my armpit.
They can't hold your wrist up in the air?
Never. Don't. Nope.
Well, what if their nose touches the crease?
Jail. Straight to jail.
If Kelly ever somehow catches the guy who ripped her off, man, I feel sorry for that dude.
I'm going to bury that guy's face in my armpit.
Intentionally. For free. I think it would probably cost more to allow people to come up over and over again to sniff my armpit. I would charge more.
Yes, way more.
For that.
Yeah.
Because, you give me $100, I'll sniff a stranger's armpit.
Yeah. $100, maybe $100 an hour to stand there.
Okay, $100 an hour. Well, a lot of people are coming through that line. It doesn't take long to sniff an armpit.
$100 a person? A person?
A person?
Okay, I like that.
That's not bad.
Now we're talking money.
How many people you think are really going to walk up and sniff that armpit, though?
I don't know. Have you seen people in New York City? I feel like they're armpit sniffers.
Yeah. Apparently you haven't been on the hub enough. There are a lot of categories. All right, finally, speaking of advertisements, let's do one more. I found a funny comparison. Do you remember Pearl Drops?
Yeah, the toothpaste.
The smallest tube of toothpaste ever. It's like a travel size.
You just needed a little drop.
Yeah,
whatever. Their commercials were crazy. I found a Pearl Drops commercial from 1981. Take a listen to this.
It's a great feeling. That's what I've always said about Pearl Drops. But now I've got another reason for saying it. Pearl Drops Cinnamon. And a breath-freshening cinnamon taste that leaves my whole mouth feeling as good as my teeth. It's a great feeling.
Ew.
Right?
Okay. Like, that reminds me of I'll Have What She's Having from When Harry Met Sally. Like, come on. So, because of that commercial, I had to touch it up a little bit. And I did my own version of the Pearl Drops commercial. Take a listen.
It's a great feeling. That's what I've always said about Pearl Drops. It's a great feeling.
Gross.
You know who likes Pearl Drops? Dirk Motomoto. Oh, yeah. I want to get some Pearl Drops up in my life. If you know what's good for you, and you want that fresh breath, you get them Pearl Drops, okay? Oh, yeah. And by the way, Kelly, I would happily sniff your armpits. Oh,
$100?
Yeah.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
A man who once owned a car dealership in Whitehall is facing federal charges after he was accused of altering the odometers on vehicles he sold. Authorities say 38-year-old Simon Nawaru Jr. is charged with 8 counts of odometer fraud, each count punishable by up to 3 years in prison. Nawaru is the former owner of S Automotive in Whitehall, and a federal indictment claims that between the years 2020 and 2022, Nawaru knowingly, where am I from? Australia? Knowingly disconnected, reset, and altered the mileage registered by the odometer on vehicles, changing them from high mileage to lower mileage before selling them to customers. They say he took up to 100,000 miles off the odometers of at least 8 vehicles. Now, that's a big rollback.
That is a lot. I feel like you could look at a car and be like, wait a minute. This car does not have 65,000 miles on it.
You feel like you could tell that.
Yeah.
You're right. That's kind of on the buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caveat emptor, as the Brady Bunch said. Former New York Republican Congressman George Santos says he expects to receive the maximum prison sentence today. Santos pleaded guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft and admitted he stole from campaign donors and lied about it to Congress. He admitted to all of it. So he'll be sentenced today, and Santos told reporters yesterday he expects the maximum 87-month prison sentence to be handed down, saying he is, quote, totally resigned to being in prison for over 7 years.
Man.
Can he still make cameos behind bars? I guess if he smuggles in a butt phone.
Yeah, in the old prison wallet. That is true.
Yeah. Not sure how you live this one down. I do feel bad for the guy. This is an awful situation. I don't know how I would be in a home invasion situation. But this Ecuadorian soccer player, his name's Jackson Rodriguez. His wife and 5-year-old child have been kidnapped by men who broke into their home in search of the player. They were looking for Jackson Rodriguez, couldn't find him, took his wife and 5-year-old. So when police said, where were you at the time of this kidnapping? He said, I was hiding under a bed.
Oh, no. You can't leave your family just hanging out to dry like that.
If they need you and you allow them to take your wife and kid, I don't know. And honestly, that's such a terrible situation. And I get the just basic instinct to save yourself. But it's your wife and 5-year-old. Oh, good night. Terrible. So anyway, this happened just 4 months ago. Another soccer player was kidnapped. If they actually got him, they took him to the jungle. His captors demanded $60,000 in ransom. He was rescued by police after a fight. And those are your 3 things.
Oh, but Kelly, you do not worry. This is Alejandro, the gentle cartel leader. I will not harm the family. We were only hoping that we could capture this soccer player. In fact, if I must say, if I think about it, I only had one goal!
Did you want him to teach you the Ronaldo chop? Or whatever that fancy soccer move is. Is that all you wanted to take him for?
I have no idea what you are talking about whatsoever. What? Please explain to me what is the Ronaldo chop.
I have no idea, man.
The Ronaldo chop.
I know who Ronaldo is.
Is that a thing, the Ronaldo chop?
Finishing move? I mean...
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, after you trip him, you come up and you're like, yeah! It's 99.7 The Blitz. 2 weeks from tomorrow, 2 weeks from tomorrow, 2 weeks from tomorrow, 2 weeks from tomorrow. Can't wait to Lincoln Park. I'm so excited. I don't think it's been a while since I've looked forward to a concert this much. I mean, obviously, my first experience at Sonic Temple as a whole, I'm looking forward to. But Lincoln Park, yeah. Hey, speaking of concerts, we've got one coming in October. Well, coming to Cincinnati, but, you know, close enough. Great little road trip, little weekend getaway, because it is a Saturday night concert, October 4th. Judas Priest and Alice Cooper are going to be performing at the Riverbend Music Center, and here's the deal. We don't have one, we don't have two, we have 3 pair of tickets to give away, which means we are going to play everybody's favorite game show, Don't Blow It for Everyone. Yeah. Here we go. Very simple. I need 3 contestants right now. 800-821-9970 that are interested in making the trip to Cincinnati in October to see Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. We are going to give you each a chance to win a pair of tickets. It's very simple. 3 contestants, 3 questions. You cannot help each other out. If all 3 of you get your question correct, all of you win a pair of tickets. However, if one of you gets your question wrong, you aren't going to hear goodbye, you aren't going to hear sayonara, you aren't going to hear thanks for playing, you are only going to hear the dial tone. So, if you would like to go, 800-821-9970 right now. Let's get our 3 contestants. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
This is Kevin.
Kevin, hang on one second. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Billy Jordan.
Jordan. All right, hang on one second,
Yeah.
Jordan. Last contestant.
Billy Jordan.
Oh, Billy Jordan. I'm sorry, Billy Jordan.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's all right.
Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Sean.
Sean. All right, here we go. Kevin, Billy Jordan, and Sean. Do your friends call you BJ?
Not very often. No.
Oh, okay. That's funny. Kevin, Billy Jordan, Sean, here we go. You are each going to get your own question. You cannot help each other out. If all three of you get your question correct, you are all going. If one of you gets your question wrong, that's it. Game over. Dial tone. So here we go. Kevin, you called in first. We are starting with you. We are 16 days away from which holiday?
Mother's Day.
That is the correct answer. Mother's Day.
Nice.
Kevin, you are off the hook. Billy Jordan, on to you. For you and only you. Tim Duncan is 49 today. He played which sport professionally?
Basketball.
Basketball, correct answer, yes!
Admiral.
Here we go. That's right. All right. Here we go.
Pressure's on.
Sean, it all falls on you. You are either going to win everybody tickets or game over, just like that. Here we go, Sean. Jason Lee is also celebrating a birthday today. He's the actor who played Dave Seville. Dave is the band manager and father of which animated characters?
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
That is correct answer!
All right.
I think this is the first time ever we have had winners in round one.
First time, yeah.
Of Don't Blow It for Everyone. Kevin, Billy Jordan, Sean, congratulations. You are all getting a pair of tickets to Judas Priest and Alice Cooper, Riverbend Music Center in Cincinnati, Saturday, October 4th. All right?
All right.
Hang on 1 second. Just like that. Good for those guys. Maybe I should have made the questions a little bit harder. Was this too easy?
No, I loved it. It's a Friday. You're being generous.
Somewhat generous.
Yes.
I knew the name Dave Seville, but I could not think of what it was. And then when he said it, I went, "Oh, of course,
Yeah.
Dave Seville."
Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
Alvin.
Yep.
That's Dave.
That is Dave.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's Dave
absolutely.
Lloyd, yeah.
Yep. All right. That wraps up this round of Don't Blow It for Everyone. More tickets next week to a different show. Your chance to win 99.7 The Blitz. All right, Kelly, it's Friday. It's going to be a high of 75. Today should be a decent day. Maybe a couple of rain showers off and on. But we're rolling into the weekend. However, before we get there, I want to blow your mind.
Okay, I'm ready.
Straight up head explosion.
Okay.
In fact, let me grab the big blue tarp and throw it over all the electrical equipment because I don't want brain matter and juices spraying everything. I want to bring up something from our childhood that you've never thought about before. Put the pieces together like the detective that I am. And this is absolutely insane. You, of course, remember the movie Back to the Future.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Absolute classic.
Huge event.
Of a movie.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Came out.
You also remember the 80s movie, The Goonies.
Yes.
Absolute classic that we grew up with. Did you know that Back to the Future and Goonies take place on the exact same day? Both those things were going on at the exact same time.
Really?
Yes. So, take a listen to this. We know for a fact Back to the Future takes place on October 26, 1985. Because if you've paid any sort of attention, when he gets on the DeLorean, there it is. We know he's going back to 1955. But the current day, on the timestamp, it says present time, October 26, 1985. There you go. We know that for a fact. Now, as far as Goonies goes, take a listen to this. Beginning of the movie, Mouth comes in and says it's the last Goonies weekend. What is this? Nuclear Saturday or something? So right off the bat, we know that it's a Saturday. A little bit later in the movie, Brand is doing his hanging sit-ups from the door mount, and right behind him there's a calendar hanging on the wall. It's October.
Okay.
We know it's a Saturday in October. And then as the Goonies begin their adventure, Stephanie finds a newspaper article. And that newspaper article is Fratelli's at it again, talking about the jailbreak and the Fratellis getting out of jail. And if you look at the date on the newspaper, it's October 24th, 1985. However, the Fratellis are already out. In the beginning of the movie, they're talking about the jailbreak. So obviously, the headline didn't come out the day that everything happened. It took a second for them to print the article. So you've got a Saturday in October after October 24th. And the only Saturday in October after October 24th is 2 days later, October 26th, 1985. Back to the Future and Goonies take place at the same time. You got Marty McFly shooting off in his DeLorean while the Goonies are floating off in One-Eye Willie's boat. That's a busy day in history.
It really is.
Now,
wow.
And
which one would you rather be there for? Would you rather see the ship sail through the bay or see the DeLorean burn up and disappear?
I got to choose the DeLorean.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, we're talking time travel.
Yeah. Yeah, if I get to see 1.21 gigawatts in action, I'm picking 1.21 gigawatts. For sure. So, you want to go back? I might have to revisit these movies this weekend just because I'm in their class.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Yes! Yes, I am. 99.7 The Blitz. All right, so you enter the point of your relationship where you decide to move in together. It's a big step. And, when you do it for the first time, if you're younger, there may be some things that you didn't know about. Do you remember moving in with a significant other for the first time?
I never, ever lived with any man until I married Charlie. So that is the first time I ever lived with a male.
Okay, well...
Not even in college. Like, I always had female roommates.
And then you got married. Even during engagement, you didn't live together.
Did not live together.
But they still moved in together for the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember, in that first month or whatever, learning about a man and living with a man and how things are different when you live together?
Well, there was one big change for me, and that is that I am I'm a pile person. Like, I will stack all my bills in a big pile and never deal. Like, they'll just stay there until I deal with them.
Okay.
There's no place for them. My laundry stacked in piles. They don't get put away. They're stacked in piles. Like, that's how I lived up until Charlie and I. Now, he would help me sometimes because the piles overwhelmed me all the time. And
you did it, but they still overwhelmed you.
Yeah, and he has a place for everything. He's a person who has a place for everything.
He's organized.
They go where they go. He's very organized. So he brought a lot of peace into my life when we finally got married, moved in together. The pile situation is no more and hasn't been in our entire marriage, except I do get a couple places where I stack. Like, in the guest bedroom, I have a chair because I get dressed in the guest bedroom every morning because it's in the middle of the night, right? Yep. I go over there. I have a stack of clothes that end up hanging out on a chair in there. It's like I go back to when I have my own little space, I go back to my old bad habits. But that is one thing, is I learned how to put things in their place. And it brought a lot of peace to my life.
Tends to do that.
So, I mean... Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly what you're looking for, but that's the main thing I can think of.
A little more specific to the person as opposed to men in general.
Men in general, I got you.
Do you remember moving in and learning something about the female species?
Oh, yes.
What was that thing that you
know
learned?
You can relate to this.
Okay.
The hair.
Oh, God.
The hair is everywhere.
That's hilarious.
And it has become a part of my life and has been now for 31 years.
You know what Nora did last weekend? Or no, she was here this past weekend. 2 weekends ago, I went home. And, yes, Nora has it just comes out.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
It's real thick. My wife's hair is so thick. There's just so much of it, and it's everywhere.
We were getting ready for date night. And she obviously took a shower first because... That's how it goes. You shower first because I know your hair and makeup's going to take a while. I'll shower and get dressed before you're even done.
Yeah.
But I got in the shower after her, and I turn around to grab the shampoo, and right there on the side wall is a I love you message written in hair. She put it on the wall because she knew a bunch had come out, and so she's like, "I'm gonna leave him a little message." So she made an I, she made a heart, and she made a letter U with her damn hair.
That's
hair all over the place.
Hot tip: if you want to see a ton of your woman's hair, look in their car in the driver's seat, beside the driver's seat, between the door and the driver's seat. Like there's a ton of hair that collects there. And every time my husband gets my oil change for me, he has to vacuum out all the hair that is falling out there. I'm not kidding. Look in your woman's car.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Oh, you guys are so right. It's disgusting.
I washed and put away clothing the other day and went to take a leak and just out of the boxer. Like, how are you still connected to the boxers?
It happens.
I haven't been here in days.
It happens in the washer-dryer cycle. It gets all tangled up.
What else did you learn? I mean, especially from the men. 800-821-9970 or 99-700. Do you remember moving in for the first time and learning? Like, this gentleman posted, when you're running late, she's in the bathroom. She's like, I'm almost ready.
Oh, no.
No, she's not.
It's not true.
No.
You tell them at least 15 minutes earlier than you really want to leave.
I do that all the time.
Always.
Yep.
By the way, Kelly, Rob wants to know if he can borrow Charlie to come break his wife of the same habit.
Yeah.
Of the piles.
Yeah.
The piles, yeah.
This guy says, I learned that my wife pulls on toilet paper like she's starting a lawnmower.
What?
How much do you need?
Oh. Yeah, we don't know about Goose, do we?
Yeah, what do? Do you wad up your toilet paper? Do you fold it? Do you only take, like, how many squares do you take?
Four squares at a time.
4 squares at a time? No, I
What?
know. No, everybody feels that way.
No, not everybody feels that way.
Everybody feels that way.
No,
about
they don't.
Time out. Change
It's like we're
the
in
whole
the-
conversation.
No, this
I
is
don't
like-
care what we were talking about. 4 squares?
This is like 1929 depression at
You
Thick Rick's
have
house.
got poop hands, sir. There is no way.
I do not.
You can only get 4 squares. No,
I'm sorry,
way.
I am more skilled at
That
this
is-
than you.
That is straight
But why
up
do you
poop
feel
hands.
like you have to be skilled? Like, we are in an age of plenty.
Well,
There's
sometimes
no
I get 5. Sometimes it might happen to be 5.
Oh, here we go.
But it's never more than 5.
Okay.
Ever.
Absolutely
And that's only
more than
because I
5.
accidentally got an extra one.
Absolutely more than 5.
I can pull 4, fold twice, do it.
Fold twice! You've got poop hands!
No, I do not.
There's no way. There's no way you're taking 4 squares, folding twice, and then using it again.
How big is your beehole?
Poop hands.
What?
If nothing else, you get the smear
No,
right across your thumb knuckle
I do.
there.
You obviously do not have a talent at this. I don't know what to tell you.
I am a habitual wiper. I will have almost a bloody butthole every time.
Oh, my God.
I am a habitual wiper.
Okay, that's a problem.
No, I'm making sure. I'm making 4 squares.
Are you got a whole big wad like Kelly? Is that
Kind
what-
of, yeah. I mean, I kind of fold.
I said fold, sort
and
of
then-
a fold
and then
and a
it sort of
bunch.
lobs. Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
the way. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Man.
Blitz, good morning. Who's this? Hello?
Hey, this is Gustavo.
Hey, Gustavo, what's going
Gustavo.
on? Did you learn something when you moved in with your wife for the first time?
Yeah, their nesting instinct goes all the way up to 11.
Oh, nesting.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is true. Yep.
Yeah.
I totally see that.
You can. They own all the closets, all the drawers, all the counters.
We own everything.
You might get a little bit of patio space in the backyard, but don't put a roof over it because they'll own that one too.
But that's about it.
Hey, by the way, I did see that it was your and Sylvia's anniversary, Gustavo.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Shout out to my wife for 27 years.
Woo!
Happy birthday.
Yay.
I
No.
hope you allow her to use
Anniversary.
more than 4 squares.
Anniversary.
Thank you so much, Gustavo. I hope you have a great one.
That's fantastic.
Man, have you learned anything about your significant other when you first moved in together? Or I should say about the opposite sex that you're like, oh, they do this?
Do you think Heather, when she married Thick, was like, you use 4 squares? What's going on here?
Or why do you, what's
Four
going on? Why use a proper amount? Be a normal human being. I don't want to cuddle with you.
We know he grew up with chandeliers in the house, so I know he had money.
Right.
I've never not had toilet paper in my home. I've never had a shortage of toilet paper.
Have you ever had to like fold up a sock because you were out of toilet paper because you used more than 4 squares at a time?
Did you ever use like the washcloth and you're like, oh, just I'll reuse 4 squares.
Dan Davidson said, must be nice to be so consistently clean pooping. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I have no problem.
Never had mud butt. You just like, there's no way 4 squares is getting this job done.
Man, what are you doing down there?
Taking care of business. Straight up taking care of business.
Ask him what happens after hibachi and see if the 4 square rule is still in effect.
That might. Well, that's a special circumstance when you go to a hibachi grill.
That's called a shower.
Yeah, right.
That's in the Blitz. Let us start off by sending an apology to Erica, who said, "Dear God, please stop. I'm eating hummus right now." After our previous conversation. So, I'm sorry, Erica. We were talking about an article, funny things men learned about women when they moved in together. Not necessarily about, their specific, but just in general. When a woman's bathroom counter is spotless and clutter-free, do not look below. Because you will find nothing but a science lab of lotions, potions, endless hair products, and makeup. That is very true. Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Damon.
What's up, man?
My ex-wife she wanted to have sex more often when she was on the period.
Oh, okay.
That's what you learned about women? Okay, good to know. We appreciate it.
That's a thing.
That is a thing. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is a thing that you do learn. And if you didn't know that beforehand when you move in together, that is something you might learn. This man said, I discovered that when my wife gets home from work, she's going to rip off her bra with so much enthusiasm, I can hear it upstairs. I have said for a very long time, for any younger man out there, if for whatever reason you are making plans, like if you're trying to surprise your significant other with like a dinner or a surprise date, get to her before that bra comes off. Because once that bra comes off, she's in for the night.
That's right.
It ain't going back on. That is it. So if you plan a surprise, you better pause her and stop her before that bra comes off. Because you will hear nothing but the biggest sigh. It's the biggest sigh of relief, and it is not going back on.
We got a text says, my wife learned that I didn't know how to use a dishwasher. I bought actual dish soap and put it in the dishwasher, and she flipped out on me.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
No, you're not.
Will that break the thing completely?
No, what it does is it suds up to eternity.
Right.
How do you know that, Kelly?
We have had this topic before. I feel like somebody said it like overflowed out of their...
Yeah,
out of their dishwasher and onto the floor.
You want to have a foam party in your kitchen. That's the place to do it.
Yeah.
800-821-9970 or 99700. Did you learn something about the opposite sex when you moved in together? I would love to hear what you learned. It's 997 The Blitz.
And now, 3 things you need to know before you go.
Luigi Mangione will be arraigned on federal murder charges today. The 26-year-old is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last year. He was indicted last week by a federal grand jury in New York. And Attorney General Pam Bondi says she does plan to pursue the death penalty. An update on... Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say there was an article yesterday that someone said it was like an insider who's got a little inside information. And they were talking about the fact that they're finding it very difficult to find any jurors because either A, they know about the story already because it's been everywhere, and B, so many people have been screwed over by insurance companies that they can't find an unbiased jury.
When they start jury selection, that will be very interesting to watch.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we don't know what we're going to do. Like, who hasn't been screwed over by an insurance company before?
Yeah, even a change of venue is not going to help you.
Right.
So.
Right.
An update on the Idaho 4 case. A judge ruled yesterday that prosecutors can pursue the death penalty against Brian Kohberger if he's convicted of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022, despite the fact that Brian Kohberger was recently diagnosed with autism. Kohberger is charged in the stabbing deaths of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Goncalves at a home near campus in Moscow, Idaho on November 13th, 2022. Prosecutors say they plan to seek the death penalty if Kohberger is convicted at his trial, a trial scheduled to finally begin in August. They say Kohberger was diagnosed with mild autism, and he has no intellectual impairment, so it makes no difference to them whether they, they're definitely pursuing the death penalty. I say amen. You can't do what that guy is alleged to have done.
You can't end 4 lives just like that.
Warner Music Group has filed a lawsuit against Crumble Cookies for copyright infringement. The lawsuit accuses Crumble of using WMG's copyrighted sound recordings and musical compositions in its social media marketing campaigns without proper licenses. Crumble has built its brand primarily through social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, often featuring popular music tracks in its promotional content. And WMG claims that Crumble has misappropriated at least 159 sound recordings and musical compositions in its videos, including works by Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande, Beyonce, BTS, Bruno Mars. WMG wants a jury trial, and they want a permanent injunction, and they want damages of up to $150,000 for each infringement.
Wow. Yikes.
But
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing is, you've got your sounds available on TikTok.
Right.
People use them for videos all the time. So are they going to set up rules saying if this is a form of advertisement, then you can't use the music? But if you're doing a dance video, you can use the music?
Right. What's the distinction?
What's the line?
I think that's it. If you're using it to sell something.
Yeah, if you're profiting
you've got the sound available on TikTok. I mean, TikTok pays rights.
Yeah, what if you have a million followers and
Right.
you do a dance to a Beyonce song and you make money off that?
Yeah, but TikTok is paying like the ASCAP BMI.
Oh, true.
To, the record labels as a whole.
Right.
It's a collective.
Yeah.
Okay, so then...
Just like us playing music.
Right.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah.
If you have...
I don't know what the
maybe
laws
if it's
are.
a business thing.
Yeah, if it's a business thing, then maybe not.
All right, those are your 3 things.
If you look at human history, there have been a lot of really great ideas and a lot of really bad ideas. Like the person who discovered you can pick a potato from the ground, cut it up, throw it in some oil at 375 degrees, and come out with the deliciousness that is French fries.
Right.
Great idea.
Right.
However, not every idea is that great. Here's the thing. If you've ever worked in a fast food restaurant, or if you're a manager at a fast food restaurant, there is a good chance you are going to be working with teenagers. And you would think, as the manager, you want to teach these kids. Teach them some responsibility. Teach them about customer service. Teach them about, interacting with the public. Maybe even take it to the next level and teach them some skills that will advance them through their career to become a manager. A bad idea would be giving them edibles. And that's exactly what Darlene Durham did. She's a manager at Sonic in Oklahoma, and she gave her 16-year-old female coworker an edible. Unfortunately, this 16-year-old did not react in a very good way. In fact, she got very sick. She vomited and was even unresponsive. Someone had to call 911.
Whoa.
And they had to come in and bring this young lady out of it. Now, Darlene says she only gave the girl the edible because she asked for it. Well, that's not a good reason. You should probably say, no, that's a bad idea. I'm not going to do that. Darlene was actually arrested for contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Yeah, who's the adult in the room?
Right, exactly. Who is the adult in the room? That is a bad idea. Don't give edibles to teenagers, especially when you're their manager at the fast food restaurant. I will say this is an even worse idea by much smarter people. I don't understand what is going on here. Geoscientists have discovered a magma cap at Yellowstone National Park, which is playing a critical role in preventing a massive eruption for the volcano that is underneath Yellowstone Park. Basically, the cap is a molten silicate, which is when supercritical water, which is like a liquid gas, forms after water exceeds its critical point of 374 degrees Celsius. It's like a porous rock almost. Literally like a cap over the hot, molten lava. 2.4 miles below the Earth. So what these geoscientists have decided to do to study this molten cap is to use a 53,000-pound Vibrosi truck. It's a device capable of injecting a low-frequency vibration. So you're going to shake the rock that is covering this massive volcano. I don't know, but to me, I've seen things, they use vibration to break up rock, not to keep it intact.
It doesn't feel safe.
You talk about tempting fate, man.
Right!
Because if that thing goes, this country's done.
Now, here's the thing. Granted, I am no geoscientist by any stretch. I am no scientist whatsoever. Maybe they know what they're doing. Maybe it's a low enough frequency. But, again, why tempt fate? Why send any vibration to this molten cap that is covering a giant volcano under our country?
The worst.
Right. I can't fathom what they're doing. Like, just leave it be. It's been fine for millions of years. Just leave it. I don't need to know any more information about the volcano underneath Yellowstone Park. I'd be totally fine if we just move on to study something else. Yeah. Just leave that be.
Why do we have to do this with everything?
That is a terrible, terrible idea. Someone said for decades we've known there's magma beneath Yellowstone, but the exact depth and structure of its upper boundary has been the biggest question. Leave it a question. I don't care.
Just as long as it stays quiet.
Yep.
That's all we care about.
Use all that brain power for something else. You are way smarter than I am. Go study something. Go cure cancer.
Right.
What rocks and earth minerals will help cure cancer? You geoscientists, go figure that out. Leave the molten cap, which is covering a giant volcano, alone. That's all I'm saying. It's 99.7 The Blitz.
Not so breaking news. The news already broke. We're trying to put it back together.
Our first story comes from Jonesboro, Arkansas, where there was basically a fight club in a middle school. Sounds terrible. Nobody wants that to happen. Kids shouldn't be fighting in school. It's even worse when the ringleader was the school director. Yes, the school director and a couple teachers have been arrested after implementing and creating basically this fight club, if you will, at the Delta Institute for the Developing Brain and the Engage program.
Oh, is this a charter school?
I think so. Yes, her name is Mary Tracy Morrison. She's the owner and director of the Delta Institute for the Developing Brain and the Engage program.
That is a lot to put on a school T-shirt.
So much. So much. She was the ringleader behind the makeshift fight club where her and some other teachers participated in getting students. One student was told to punch another one in the private parts.
What?
How did we find all this out?
I don't know.
Somebody broke the rule.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. There's video. Apparently that's how they were caught. There's video. Also identified 38-year-old Michael Bean and 36-year-old Kristen Bell, as well as 45-year-old Catherine Lipscomb. Obviously, everyone is outraged at the whole thing, saying these people are going to go to jail or should go to jail for a very long time. Even going so far, the attorney was like, I can't believe I have to explain to other men how painful it is to be hit in the private area. Apparently these two male teachers were like, what? What's the problem? What's the problem? God. Well, it hurts to get kicked in the nards. You can't do that, especially the kids. Yeah. So, thankfully, they are set on $250,000 bail. They are allowed to no longer have contact with the school or the students. The director has been removed. Don't set up fight clubs at school.
I just don't understand. I can see one psycho being on the school staff. One. I mean, I can see that happens. Somebody who's like, let's start up a fight club and get the kids to fight each other.
Right.
How do you get three or four other people to go along with you?
Yeah. Now, one of these people said, that's probably not a good idea. We shouldn't do that. All four were like, hell yeah, I got 20. I'll put 20 on Jacob over there. You can't do that.
And don't make videos of it.
Yeah,
You know, your don't talk about rule isn't do any good if there's video.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Rule number 1 and rule number 2, go out the door if you're making video of it. Absolutely. Our next story takes us to McAllister, Oklahoma, where a McAllister man has entered a guilty plea of 2 thefts of government property. That is because, apparently last year, 38-year-old Garland Leon Say is accused of stealing from the McAllister Army ammunition plant. You can't be stealing from the government, especially munitions. He took training missiles, electronic tablets, telescope spotlights, tools, and Nikon cameras. All in all, the value was much greater than $1,000, so he will be facing higher legal issues than if it was just like, a couple paper clips.
He was going to throw the greatest 4th of July party ever.
Oh. Yeah. Forget your whatsy-doozy bottle rocket.
Right.
I've got a missile.
You talk about hold my beer.
See, now you've got me interested.
Right? I'm always looking for the entertainment.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So wait, are you saying we can do this?
You know what's the weirdest thing is going into an Army surplus store and saying, you can buy this stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I can walk around and act like I'm like a member of the military?
I remember growing up, I would go to summer camp, and there was one store in the suburbs of Detroit, and it was the store where all the kids went before summer camp to get their supplies, because they had like the cantinas, and they had the little eating utensils, the camping utensils, and the little things that they told you to pick up. But it was also an Army surplus store. So to walk through there and see like the military garb and the ultra high quality sleeping bags and just crazy
it's like
Army surplus
gear
stuff.
And like, what? We're selling this
like
to the public?
12, 13-year-olds walking through. They're like, hi, can I have a flannel shirt and a pair of duck boots, please? And then they've got machine guns and other Army material over here. Well, that is your not-so-breaking news, 99.7 The Blitz. While doom scrolling on TikTok before bed the other night, I came across a video and it made me laugh because had a somewhat similar situation. And I don't know whoever else has been through this, but take a listen to what this young lady had to say on her TikTok account.
My neighbors and friends of 2 years asked me and my husband the other night if we wanted to swap. In 2 whole years, we had no idea that they were swingers. Our kids play soccer together. We even went on vacation with them to Florida. At no point did we see this coming. So you can imagine the shock that we're feeling right now. Because the other night, we went out for margs, like we always do once a month. We're like 2 margs in, and the husband slaps this box on the table. And they just go for it. Said we should all take one of these spicy cubes and see where the night takes us.
Hello.
My husband's oblivious, okay? He has no idea what's happening, and like it's starting to click for me, and I'm panicking. I kick him under the table, and he just like looks at me, and he's like, I look down at the box. So he looks down at the box, and he's like, we were very flattered, but that's not our thing, so we had to politely decline. Our problem now, though, is that I feel like there's this huge elephant in the room. I don't know how to act. Like, do we just go back to normal? Like, this is so weird for me. Yeah. I feel like they're disappointed in us because they've been, like, acting a little weird.
Well, yeah, if they're going to be... They put it out there, you rejected them. Who's not sad about rejection?
That's on them, though. They made it weird, not you.
That's very true. 100%.
But she wants to remain friends. She wants to keep the friendship.
Yeah.
She likes them as friends, and she doesn't know what to do.
It starts with the kids playing soccer together.
Yep.
And then you start getting margaritas once in a while. And then you go on vacation together.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they thought all the signs were there.
All the signs were there.
So what was your deal?
Well, so we were, I don't know, a few months into our relationship, and we were on a date night, and we have a couple of local watering holes that we like to visit, and one of them happens to be a gay bar in a very prominent suburb of Detroit, a very gay prominent suburb of Detroit. And they've got some nice restaurants around there. We would go there for a cocktail and always had a good time. And it was a fairly busy night, and we're sitting at our table, and Nora gets up and goes to the bar to grab us 2 new drinks. And as she comes back, there is a guy and girl with her. And they came over and started, she's like, oh, she loved my dress. And we're talking, having a great time. And the gentleman has got a sleek, he waxed his head. It is a sleek head. He's got a sweater and a scarf on. She is wearing an extremely tight dress. And we're just talking. I know within 2 minutes what is going on and why this couple came over. Now, this particular bar has got unisex bathrooms. It's got stalls, it's got signs, but you can, use whichever bathroom you want. And so Nora goes into the bathroom, and the gentleman happens to follow her into the bathroom to go as well. And he said, so what's going on? Are we gonna do this? And Nora comes out wide-eyed. She's like, they're asking us, they want us, did you know, they want, and I'm like, yeah, what did you think was going on here? Because I don't know, she complimented my dress. I thought they wanted to hang out and talk. Oh, we met some new friends.
Yeah, I'm with Nora. They made a jump. They jumped to a conclusion based on what? You're being friendly at a bar?
Well, I don't know if that's... and believe me, I'm sure it has something to do with the particular bar we were in.
Is it like an anything goes type? We're going in there because we're looking for a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whatever. By no means is it a swingers club or anything like that. It's like any other plain old watering hole. But the clientele that come in, it's not Hyde Park Steakhouse.
They're open-minded.
Right, they're open-minded, exactly.
I gotcha.
So I knew right off the bat what was going on here. And
you saw it a mile away.
I absolutely did.
I'm with Nora. I never would have seen that coming.
No, you wouldn't have any clue.
Never.
And I didn't say anything because I didn't know. I was like, the conversation had never come up, and I was like, all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, is Nora into this? She brought this couple over here. Is Nora? Is she?
Yeah, and you're new, 2 months in.
Yeah,
we're
at 2 months in. Yeah, I was like,
what's going on here?
It's like, okay, Nora, I guess we got something to talk about here. Is this what you wanted? But the fact that she was so oblivious to it and had no clue whatsoever, just stumbled through her. They want to. Did you know? They want. But he said and she. But yeah, what did you think was happening? What did you think was happening? I wonder if anyone else has been in like this situation before, completely caught off guard.
Were you guys flattered?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Nothing happened that night, by the way.
Right.
Just saying, but it was so funny.
Yeah, I was going to ask for the end of that story.
Yeah, no, that's the end of the story. No big climax at the end of the story. Okay, that sounded strange, but you know what I'm saying. Nothing crazy happened. Let's put it that way. Is there something that happened in your life that you were so oblivious to the fact? And I don't mean necessarily about swinging, but just in general. Like something happened and you're like, oh, that's what it was. Or you had to explain to Charlie something that he just was completely missing the point whatsoever and so oblivious to. 800-821-9970 or 99-700 if you've got one. Love to hear from you. It's 99.7 The Blitz. Just played you this video from a young lady who posted on TikTok. Her and her husband were out with their neighbors who they've become friends with because their kids play on the same soccer team. And while on this little double date, the other husband busted out some spicy cubes, as they're called. And he said, we should take these and see where the night takes us. They were down for some action. And her husband had no idea. And it made me remember the story of the time Nora and I were out and about. And she brought a husband and wife over to our table that we were drinking at, saying, I met these guys at the bar. I knew instantly what this husband and wife were thinking. Nora was completely oblivious to the whole situation. Came back just shocked when she was propositioned. I was like, of course. What did you think was going on? She had no idea. Did you ever have an oblivious moment before? I love this. 1209 said the same thing happened to my husband and I 2 summers ago at the Hampton Inn in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The Hampton Inn?
What's going on in Ann Arbor?
Right.
What's happening up there?
You're just sitting at the little hotel bar at the Hampton Inn?
Sounds like Powell, Ohio.
Is that what goes on up there?
That's the rumor.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like they've...
There's a club.
Okay. Was that Club Princeton?
No, that's a different one.
No, not a club. Maybe there is a club.
Well, a private club.
I've heard of neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like a full neighborhood where there's a lot of action happening between neighbors.
Like a whole cul-de-sac.
Full street.
It's a whole... That's where you move to.
Yes.
That's your little community.
I have heard tell.
Okay. Blitz, good morning. Hi, who's this? Hello, Blitz.
This is Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Hello. Did
you have an oblivious moment, or did your significant other have an oblivious moment?
So my wife used to run down past our neighbor's house all the time, and they were like, "Come on, you guys ought to come down for our hot tub parties one time." And she's like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And ran a couple weeks later. "Hey, you guys we haven't seen you. You guys want to come over to the?" This was about 4 times before I explained to her what a hot tub party was.
What is a hot tub party? I mean, I guess
the most PG-13 version.
I mean, I feel like I can sort of imagine what you're talking about, but
yeah, that was their code word for being swingers.
Okay,
have the hot
Everybody
tub party.
Came down, got naked in the hot tub, and
Did they keep a pineapple out in front of their house?
That's a sure sign. That is a sure sign.
Sure sign. No, they were nice and quiet about it.
Yeah, you just don't. Yeah, you got to be careful now. You just don't know who's into what. Some people are letting their freak flag fly, which is completely fine. I'm here for it. Just saying, you got to know what you're walking into. Thanks for the call, man. What oblivious moment did you have? They've got a couple. Oh, this is interesting. I found out both my parents were smoking the devil's lettuce, and I was so hurt and ticked off. I was so against it. I thought it was a really hard drug. And then after I got older and started smoking, I realized, well, hey, it's probably the only reason I'm still alive. They would go in the room, disappear for a half an hour, and come back in a much better mood cooking dinner.
Wow.
I could totally see that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's see. John Cummings, the 4th, text in, said, I was maybe 19 and I just started working for a moving company. I was a passenger and the guy driving asked me if I had a joint. I said, no, I still live with my mother. A joint isn't like your own place to live?
I guess.
Tell us you're many years old without telling us.
Yeah, right.
Sean said, hey, I live in Powell. Which neighborhood is this?
Now, Misty says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The other couple, they didn't assume. They simply crossed their fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the same thing. It's like asking someone out without a doubt.
I don't think anyone's down to clown. I never think that. Never.
Down to clown.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Blitz, good morning. Who's this?
This is Ron, guys.
Ron, did you have an oblivious moment or somebody you know have an oblivious moment?
Oh, my God. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life. I was working security for a bar downtown doing a show, and I see these 2 girls go out back, and I'm like, doing security, I got to go get them. They're not supposed to be out back. So I go out back, and I'm seeing them, and they start kissing, and I'm like, all right, girls, you got to go back inside. Nobody's allowed out here. And about 10 minutes later, I'm sitting there punching myself in the face like, why did I do that? That was a dream. Anyway.
Wait, are you saying you should have interjected yourself into the situation?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, before you straight up kick them out, shoot your shot. Go over there first and be like, hey,
I know.
I'm going to have to ask you to leave in about 15 minutes. 99.7
I have nightmares to this day about that.
Right, absolutely.
And now, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
Another delay for Intel. Company officials have announced that the $28 billion chip plant in New Albany will not open until 2031. As we just keep going out like, a delay for 1 year.
2031.
Delay for 5 years. We're going to delay for another year. The company is continuing to struggle financially. And yesterday, of course, we talked about this. Intel announced some sweeping changes, including a 20% cut in its workforce. Governor DeWine's office says it does not believe that they'll scrap the New Albany project. So that doesn't look like it's at risk. As to, I think yesterday we quoted him saying, somebody's going to be making chips out of that facility.
Right.
We don't know who, but somebody.
I thought it was going to be NVIDIA.
I don't think so.
No?
No, but I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I didn't hear that as one of the possible buyers, but who knows? Maybe they're working something out behind the scenes.
So
I don't care. All I want is for them to build those chip fabs, because it's about a mile away from my home, and I need for my home to increase in value, not decrease. Okay? I don't need a giant hole in the ground that used to be farmland.
Is that just what it is now? There's no building?
No, they've built. I mean,
okay.
We drove back in there on Saturday evening just to see how far we could get. And they have like a guard shack and everything.
Yeah.
And with a young guy there. This was a Saturday early evening. It was probably about 6:30 p.m. And he walked out and came up to the truck and he's, hey, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, we were just kind of getting back as far as we could to see what's going on back here. And he's like, yeah, you need a badge to get past this point.
So for the next 6 years, they're going to pay security guards to just sit in the shack watching over empty land as they wow.
Did. Yeah, I think they instituted a work slowdown last month or within the last 2 months. But there is some building happening, and the two sites are being built. Like there's supposed to be two fabs. One is obviously a little further along than the other, but they've got enormous cranes back there that I have never seen move an inch. Except they did move. Yeah.
Right.
So maybe they do move, and I just am never around there at the time they are moving. But I don't know. It's a weird thing. I do hope they get those built.
Yeah.
It would be nice for the area. Officials in Fairfield County now have a new tornado shelter open near Buckeye Lake. The building's in place on Beaver Drive in Thornville. Emergency management officials say the structure can withstand an EF4 tornado and can hold over 700 people.
Wow.
The shelter's really needed because many of the people who live in or near, not in Buckeye Lake, but near Buckeye Lake, around Buckeye Lake, don't have basements. So
nowhere really safely to go. Yeah.
So that's really nice for that community. Eating chicken on a regular basis is now linked to higher risk of dying of cancer.
Of course.
Get out of here, serious? What are we doing? What?
Okay. Italian researchers collected data on the diets of about 5,000 adults for nearly 20 years. They have 20 years of dietary habits for 5,000 adults, and they found that those who ate about 4 servings of chicken per week had a 27% higher risk of dying early from digestive cancers. 27%, that's a decent amount.
Yeah, that's a pretty good amount.
Yeah. Basically,
so mad right now.
You're not supposed to eat eggs. No, you're supposed to eat eggs.
Yeah,
I know.
You're supposed to eat chicken, the white meat. Stick with the white meat. You're not supposed to eat chicken now. I don't know, man.
Like, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
Just enjoy what you want to enjoy.
Now, they say that the increased risk of death from chicken may be related to how the chicken is cooked, possible pesticides in the chicken feed, or hormones in the chicken.
I'm sure, yes.
So just make sure you cook up that chicken and get it from a free-range, no-hormone chicken farm.
No hormones? Good luck.
Yeah, well, they're there. You just have to pay for them.
I mean, it was really interesting when they wrapped up the scientific study, and the scientist literally went to the chicken and was like, "Why are you doing this to us?" Yeah. And the chicken said, "Because!" You're welcome.
I can't. He sounds just like him.
Because! Because!
Which one's which? I can't tell. All right, those are your 3 things.
So, how late did you stay up, Thick?
I got to sleep, but it was almost 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's just a little late for me.
Yeah, after being out and about at 10 Mile Inn and then coming home and, kind of doing the wind down thing. Yeah, it was probably about 9:15, 9:30. I was watching some of it, watching some of the draft. Of course, not a ton of drama. Cam Ward went number 1 as expected.
The only drama came from the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
And I thought they made a great move.
A lot of people did. Yeah.
I mean, what they got, they went down 3 spots and added a second-round pick, so they got the 1st and 4th pick today.
Yep.
And they also got next year's first-round pick from them.
They did, yeah. A lot of people said, even though Jacksonville Jaguars needed some help everywhere, the number 1 problem was cornerback. So they got who a lot of people consider the overall best athlete and obviously the number one cornerback in the draft from Colorado, Travis Hunter, of course, Heisman Trophy winner. And so a lot of people are still saying Cleveland won the trade, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they didn't necessarily need the second pick in the draft.
Right.
So other big names, let's see. You had 4 OSU players that went in the first round. It was a good day for OSU for sure. Let's see here. Of course, you had Emeka Egbuka from Tampa Bay Buccaneers going at 19. You've got Donovan Jackson, the guard, going to Minnesota. You have got Tyreek Williams going to my Detroit Lions.
Which makes me so much happier than him going to the Eagles.
Right.
Yeah, you got yourself a great player.
Another weapon for Goff to hit for sure. And then Josh Simmons wrapped up the first round going to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait. What did you just about Goff? A weapon for Goff?
For
who?
For Jared Goff.
What do you? Who's another weapon for Goff?
The
Buckeye?
Yes.
Oh, he's defensive tackle. Tyreek Williams?
Oh, I thought receiver.
Oh, no, he's defensive tackle.
Oh, I was looking at Emeka Egbuka, and then I scrolled down.
I got
Sorry,
you.
I got confused.
No,
I got
but
confused.
he's a beast on the defensive line.
Right, but that's what I meant to say. He's going to go perfect with Aiden Hutchinson on the other end.
Yes.
That's what I meant to say.
And, that's kind of what Cleveland did. They've got, they got Myles Garrett, and they had Mason Graham, defensive tackle from Michigan, and that guy's a beast on the defense. I remember, believe me, I have terrible memories of him from the OSU-Michigan game.
Yep.
Horrible.
Yep.
The guy was in our face, man.
He's going to be one of those instant game changers on the defensive line for sure. Let's see. What did your Cowboys do?
We did exactly what I wanted. We got the best guard in the draft.
Tyler Booker out of Alabama.
Alabama, yes, because as I said, we had our all-pro right guard retired.
Yeah.
And had to be replaced, and that's exactly what I tell you yesterday. I said offensive guard and running back. Those are our top 2 needs. So I'm hoping today for Travion Henderson, baby. Come on.
That'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. The Bengals, if you're a Bengals fan, got Shamar Stewart, the edge from Texas A&M. Steelers fans, you got Derek Harmon, a defensive tackle for Oregon. And so it will continue now into round 2. Shedeur Sanders.
Undrafted.
Not picked yet.
Dude, I knew it, man. He has fallen so far. It's crazy.
He had to go. He had a huge draft party planned and had to go talk to everyone.
It's been moved to tomorrow night.
Yeah. Will he go in the second round?
Oh, man.
Or is this going to be like the movie Draft Day? Remember with Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
And that number, Bo, what was his name? Bo Callahan.
Yeah.
And he just kept dropping and dropping and dropping in
He
the draft.
Ended up he got Arian Foster, right? That's who he ended up with at the end of the draft.
At the end,
And the other one, yeah.
So if you want to stay up late again, you've got rounds 2, 3, and 4 tonight, and then it'll wrap up with 5, 6, and 7 tomorrow. Still some notable players out there. I know that a lot of people were thinking that the cornerback from Michigan, Will Johnson, was going to go. And then, of course, you still have the OSU, who was it that you were just talking about?
Travion Henderson?
Yeah.
The running back?
Yeah.
And Quinshawn Judkins. They're both going to go.
Yeah, they're both going to go.
And they could both go tonight. Will Johnson is the second highest rated player available right now.
Yes. Yep. So we will see what happens. If you want to plop down on the couch and continue your draft watching tonight, it's going to be a good football season.
I'm wondering who will get drafted first, Shedeur or Will Howard?
Oh,
I'm just curious. I wonder if Howard will end up going before Shedeur. Will it get that bad?
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Like you and I are on the same page. I think Shedeur is going to be a bust.
Yeah, and then you got Milroe from Alabama still
sitting there as well. Yep, absolutely. So enjoy the draft later tonight. We'll kind of talk about it on Monday morning a little bit. 99.7 The Blitz.
Now, let's see if we can learn you something. Sit up and pay attention.
Yeah, Let's make you a little bit smarter than you were when you woke up this morning. In fact, what I recommend if you're heading out and about this weekend, maybe you're trying to impress someone of the opposite sex, perfect pickup lines is what I call these on a Friday. Walk up to someone, share this little tidbit. I promise you'll be having a great night. Like you could share this little tidbit of information. Did you know Barbra Streisand's first name was originally spelled Barbara, but she legally changed it in her early 20s, got rid of the A in the middle. It's Barbara.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I always wondered why she spelled Barbara that way.
She said she hated the original spelling, so she just went Barbara instead of Barbara.
Okay.
Well, you know. Did you know that cats can actually survive drinking ocean water? Their kidneys can filter out the salt and use the water for hydration. Ours can't, so don't be chugging ocean water. It's just too much. That's right. 98% of the atoms that currently make up your body are different than the atoms that made you up last year. So technically, you're almost an entirely different person now than you were a year ago. Yeah.
Ha!
As way above my pay grade.
Yeah, right.
I don't understand all the science behind it, but the transfer of energy and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah. Benjamin Harrison was elected president in 1888. He was the first U.S. president to have electricity in the White House.
Okay.
But did you know he also never touched a light switch in the White House because he was afraid of getting electrocuted?
Well, you never want to use the first version. You always want the updated
You want to wait,
version.
yeah. You got to at least wait till version 1.2.
You don't want to be, especially on that, I don't want to be the beta tester for electricity.
Nope, not at all. And finally, there are over 20,000 known bee species in the world, and 4,000 of them are native to the United States. But here's something interesting. Honeybees are not one of the ones that are native to the United States. They weren't here before being imported from Europe in the 17th century. So
there's 20,000 different kind of bees.
Yes, 20,000 different kind of bees.
All the carpenter bees are in my backyard.
I hate all of them.
They don't sting. They just bore into our fence.
I don't care.
They don't sting
I don't
at all.
like insects. I don't like insects at all. They get the heebie-jeebies.
Well, I don't. I always wondered why do we have mosquitoes? Who invented that?
Yeah, there's no reason. Yeah. There's no reason. Like I understand, honeybees pollinate and do the thing. What do we need? We don't need all those. And then things like.
But if all the bees were to vanish, I hear that's the end.
Oh, that's the end. Absolutely, 100%.
So we do need them.
Yeah, we need them for sure. But that many, I don't think so. And hosps, hornets and wasps. Hosps can go straight to hell. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
There you go. Learning you some stuff on a Friday morning, 99.7 The Blitz.